Welcome back. As developers, we know that the internet as we know it is at the end of the day submarine cables, land wires, satellites, signal towers that allow us to connect to other computers. And this is something that we have discussed already in my previous course. The one clear thing about this fact is that every time we open up the browser and visit a website, we have to send a request somewhere to a server to get the files off of that computer and back all the way to us so the browser can display the web page using those files. The fact that we can almost instantly type google.com and get a web page is honestly a miracle. So in this video, let's talk about how to improve this process to make sure that you maximize this network performance. Luckily for us, there are nice and easy two main things we can do to make sure we are doing it right. I like to call these two main factors, Honey, I Shrunk the Files, and the Traveling Delivery Man. Before you make fun of me for not naming this properly, you should know that 1, I thought this was hilarious when I was writing the script for the video, and 2, trust me, you won't forget these two by the end of this video this way. Anyway, back to being serious. Remember, to view a web page, your computer has to download all the related files from the server to display them in the browser. The more kilobytes a user needs to download, the longer it takes to load the website. We also have to carry these files across the internet. So the less work we involve here, the better our website performance. So let's talk about the first one, Honey, I Shrunk the Files. All right, how do you reduce the size of your site's files? Well, pretty simple, right? By minimizing the text files like HTML, CSS, and JavaScript, and by optimizing images and using smaller images when your site is viewed on a smaller screen size, for example. Therefore, there is less data we need to transfer over the wire. I like to think of it like this. It's like putting your website on a cleansing diet and make sure everything is nice and small. Now, the first 3 files, the minimized text, it's quite easy. HTML, JavaScript, and CSS can be simply minified by taking the code that you have and using something like Uglify.js. Let me show you. Over here, we have an online version of Uglify.js. And what it does is, let's say if I have a function here, you can see that it's parsing it in real time. But if I have a function that says, say, hello, and let's say that this function just simply does a nice console log, hello. You can see over here that it's minifying the output, so it's removing the white space and making it a lot smaller. It shows us that it saved 45 bytes and saved 38.36%. Very cool. So you can do something like this for HTML and CSS. Let's go back to the slide. And we can use something like Uglify.js because machines are reading the code. They don't care about indentation or good names in functions. By minifying these files and removing the white space, you remove some bytes and make the file smaller. Easy peasy, right? By the way, people used to do this manually, just like I showed you on the website. But now this is part of what we called a build process. When an app is ready for production, we'll use something like Webpack to minimize all of these files and make them smaller. But don't worry, we'll learn more about this in the Webpack video. Now let's talk about the second one, a little bit tougher, because images are a little bit more complex. Well, I shouldn't say more complex, but this is often the easiest thing to improve on your website and also the most commonly misused to slow down your website. So let's talk a little bit more about this in the next video. I'll see you in that one. Bye-bye.